Okay, looks like. All right. Looks like I figured it out. Okay. Um, it's been, what is it, about 3:50, about 3:45, 3:50 now. Um, I'd be done by now, but the whole time I spent trying to get online. Had an issue there, and sorry about that. Had a situation where I guess the audio was not coming through well. And there was, and honestly, the way I have things set up right now, I don't think I can see who is on, but I know that there is someone on. So I really appreciate it. Um, Mr. DIY. And I'm going to set this to where, okay. So I'm going to set it there. I hope that you all are able to see me. I hope that you're able to hear me. Um, I hope that it's not distorted. That was the problem that I had earlier, is that it was a distorted audio. And I think that I just need to reset my computer, and eventually we'll get it going. Um, this here right now, I'm on my iPad, and I think everything is working okay. And if it's not, please let me know. And once again, I know that no one knew that probably I was coming on. I didn't put a notice out there, but I wanted to just get on here before Memorial Day weekend. It is the weekend. The weekend is here Friday. Friday starts our weekend. I don't care if it's 5 in the morning. I don't care if it's 5 in the afternoon. We all look forward to Friday. Thank God it's Friday, and we get reset, and then we go again. But this weekend, we're not going to reset for a little while. We do have Monday off for most of us. So definitely enjoy the weekend. Not only that, the this is Memorial Day weekend, and I do want to salute all the vets out there. Um, I don't know that there's a lot of holidays that go by, and we don't really think about the significance of the holiday. Why are we celebrating? Why do we celebrate the 4th of July? Why do we celebrate, if you do, Christmas? Why do we celebrate any holiday, Easter, the start of the year? Why do we celebrate these days? We celebrate them because they have meaning. Sometimes we have to stop, take a step back, maybe get on the little Google and find out what is this holiday about, and then actually take that in, and do whatever you're going to do on the holidays, but understand what the holidays represent, right? There was a reason for Memorial Day, and I encourage you guys to check it out. If you don't know, find out the reason for Memorial Day weekend, or the Memorial Day holiday celebration. And a lot of us are going to take the time off, barbecue, relax, do whatever you do. Enjoy your weekend, okay? But again, I appreciate you guys coming out. I'm going to reiterate, I tried to come on at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock. I had some audio issues. I guess it was making me sound a lot better than I do. And so I had to go out and then come back in. So I apologize for that. I really appreciate you guys coming back here. Now, what we're going to talk about today, what I wanted to talk about, I don't even remember, to be honest with you. And I wish I could see your comments here. This here is a whole different setup for me, only because I'm on the iPad, and I had to go off of my computer, come onto the iPad because I had issues. I apologize once again. I had some topics I wanted to talk about, but with what happened, I ended up going through some challenges trying to get back on. It took me 30 minutes to try and get back on. Actually, 45 minutes, I guess, to get back on here. And it was the simplest thing, but I had to figure it out. And during that time period, I just started thinking about it, and I was like, why am I trying to get on here? Why? Just what is the purpose of me trying to get back on here and, to do a video? And I started thinking even more about it, how, we go through things. There are challenges that come up. We go through challenges in the trucking industry. And for whatever reason, we decide that there's different ways that you can take a situation, whether you're in the trucking industry or not. There are different situations that can come up, and we can decide to go left or we can decide to go right on that situation. And one can be, the path of least resistance. The other is going to take some effort. And in taking effort, it's going to take away from other things that we'd like to do. And in trucking, there's a lot of things that we encounter where we don't necessarily want to go through what it's going to put us through, but we have to if we want to persist. If we want to get to that next level, we have to go through those things in order to get to where we're trying to get to, right? And sometimes when we go through issues, we forget the reason why we decided in the first place to even do what it is that we're trying to accomplish. We sometimes forget what we're trying to accomplish. We have these short-term situations that can lead to a long-term that do lead to a long-term goal. But the thing about it is that while we are trying to get through this situation right here in the immediate, we lose focus of what the long-term goal is. And so I was just thinking about you guys, out there on the road, the things that you might go through, the situations you might go through that get us off track so that we forget where we're trying to get to. We end up forgetting the big goal. Why are we in this? Why are we in transportation? Why are we in trucking? It could be just another job. That's why I do what I do. It could be, I got into it thinking I was going to make a whole lot of money, and it's just too hard. There's just too many things that go on, and then we decide to do something else. And that I can totally respect. And again, I'm sorry, I cannot see any comments. I wish that I could. I had to do something different here because I had a situation where I got on around 3 o'clock and everything, my computer didn't quite cooperate. And I'm sorry about that. So I had to take some time out to try and figure out at least how can I get on using my iPad. So when an adversity hits, what is it that we do when adversity hits? And I'm asking this because of this situation I went through, but I think of trucking and I hear so many times that, how trucking is, it is challenging. It's very challenging, but how do we go from those challenges and turn that into a success? In that when we are going through it, how do we keep our eyes, so to speak, on the prize so that we can continue to get to where we're trying to get to? Now, the reason I frame it that way is because we can get into this business and we can continue to do what it is that we try to do so that, we can get through this moment and get to that next load, so that we can get through that load and get to the next load. And all of a sudden that becomes a pattern. We're just trying to get to the next load, and we totally forgot either why we got into this industry, or we didn't get the opportunity to see what this industry could really be about for us because of those challenges that come about. And so for me today, and going through this little 50-minute challenge is what I'll call it, the 50-minute challenge. So I went through this challenge trying to get back onto YouTube. Had an issue with the audio. Maybe the audio is going on. I mean, I'm having an issue right now. I don't know. I can't see. You guys out there, I appreciate you. You were able to tell me that, hey, I was having an issue with my audio. And then I had to figure that out. Hopefully I'm not having that issue. But in having the issue, it allowed me to think through the whole process and, take it to another level and realize this is common. Going through when you are trying to do something, when you are trying to build something, When you are trying to create something, you have to go through issues. You have to go through challenges. If you don't, then what that means is, for me, either that you're not trying, you're not being tested, you're not putting yourself in situations that really matter. So you have to go through those trials and tribulations in order to develop, to build that character that is going to be able to withstand those situations that are going to come up. And we all go through them. We go through things that in a year or two, they don't matter. You know what I mean? We go through things and then all of a sudden they don't matter because we figured it out. We're on to the next thing. We're that much better for it, right? So we have to go through those things so that we can take a step up to the next level. And again, in this industry, it's filled with opportunity. Let's put it that way. Instead of calling them challenges, let's call them opportunities. This industry is filled with opportunities to grow. Now, this here it's not, I'm not saying all this to be a rah-rah or a this type of self-help type of video. But the thing that we have to remember is this: in this industry, think about it. Trucking, it's you. If you're an owner operator, if you're a dispatch, if you're a broker, if you're not with one of those big companies, right? It's just you. It is you itself. It's you. And that doesn't mean that, hey, look at me, but what that means is that you have to figure things out. And I know that you guys do, whether you are in it, you've been at this for a month or two, you got into this business for whatever reason you got into it, but then you didn't realize that 3 months, nobody wants to give me a load. 6 months, nobody wants to give me a load. You didn't know that before, but you had to figure it out. Okay? You had to figure this out. When you do figure it out, you'll have something to tell the next person that tries to get into this business, because it just repeats itself. But the point is that at every step of the way, when you get to 6 months, when you get to 1 year, when you get to 2 years, 3 years, when you get to 1 truck, 2 trucks, 5 trucks, you're growing. Most of us did not, and when I say most, I mean, let's say this. What is it? 95, 90, whatever, 7% they say of our industry as far as carriers goes are like 1 to 10 trucks, 1 to 20 trucks, not small companies. Just like any other industry, it's built on off of with a majority being small companies. But here in our industry, we're talking about 1, 2, 3 truck operations. You have to figure things out. You have to go out and find your information. And if you have, not just to figure out how am I going to grow and get to 20 trucks, but even how to get through today. There are these challenges that come up. And when we figure this out, I look at it as a win, because it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I've grown. This day has really taught me something. And I don't know if we stop long enough to look back and say, I learned something today. Or even stop and say, hey, I taught someone something today. We go and we run and we run and we run and we're looking for that next load, but sometimes you need to stop and pause and reflect. See where you're at now. You still might be dealing with some challenges, but at the same time, or I should say opportunity, let's look at it that way. It is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to say, hey, you know what? I want to grow. I am growing. Or in this situation, how can I handle this in a different way? In a way that it's kind of hard to do that. Sometimes you have to go through it, then you do your reflection. But there's always an opportunity for that. And when I say this, what I'm saying is because it doesn't matter whether you stay in trucking or not, you want to be able to grow as a person, but in staying in trucking, you got to be built tough, you know. You have to be built tough. You know, no one comes out and says, "Hey, you know what? In your business, this is what you need to help you be successful." Like whether it is equipment, the type of equipment, whether it's technology, whether it's rules and regulations, whether it is hiring people. How do I go about hiring people? How do I go about finding the best people for my office staff of 2, those that are going to be in my truck on the road? How do I go about finding those people, the right people? How do I build incentives to help my business grow? How do I motivate my people? How do I do all these things? You wear a lot of different hats, but the thing is that you got into this business for a reason, and we have to not lose sight of that. We have to revisit that from time to time. Even if it's take a vacation to be able to do that, do it. Okay? Because I guarantee you when you come back to it, you're going to be better, not just for you and for the business, but remember the business is made up of people. So if you have other people that are in your organization, you're going to be that much better for those people. Okay? So as far as all this goes, again, I was out for 50 minutes trying to get back on. And for me personally, just reflecting, not necessarily just pausing and being able to reflect, but through this whole challenge or this opportunity, man, I realized that it's really, and I'm just being transparent, it's not easy to build anything, you know, whether it is a house, whether it is a business, whether it is a family, a team. It's tough. Everyone doesn't have it so easy to be able to do that. You may have the desire, though, to do it. So, in my opinion, that is enough. Having that desire is enough to figure it out, because you'll do whatever it takes to figure it out. And so when I say this, in my reflection and trying to get back here on the YouTube, which someone might say, well, that's nothing, that's not a big deal. Well, when you see someone who is successful or that you consider to be successful, whether they're wearing a tie or whether they are out and about and look happy-go-lucky or whatever that might look like, you have no idea where they have come from. You have no idea what they have been through to get to even that point, whatever that point is. And when you are looking at them and you're watching them and see them as they do what they do, there is something that has got them to that point. You know, people, we go through things and we stick with it. But that doesn't mean that where we're at, that we're satisfied. There's another level that we want to get to. Your trucking industry, your trucking business, you might have 1 truck. You might have 2 trucks. You might have 3. but that's not where you were trying to get to. Now, getting 3 trucks is totally different than having 10 trucks. 10 trucks, 15, 15, 20. It's totally different at each stage, at each phase. So you have to learn, you have to stick with it, you have to stay with it, and you have to be willing to adapt. You cannot stay the same, right? And there are a lot of people out there who have been able to progress, and they went through the stages. It's just that you can't talk about the stages or know about the stages until you go through them, right? And so there are people that you see out there, trust me, those that have your 10 trucks and your 15 trucks, where you're at, if you only have one and you're trying to get there, they've been where you have been. They've been where you have been. And when I say that, what I mean is that they have gone through what you have gone through and then some in order to get to where they're at. So just because you're doing what you're doing and you might feel challenged where you're at with the 2-3 trucks, you've got more challenges to come, trust me. But it can be done, okay? There's some good people out there that have started off with 1 truck, had a goal, had a dream, had a vision, but maybe didn't have some of the some other intangibles that were needed to get to that next step, that next level. But here's the thing. At some point, they recognized that and they made the adjustments. Now we can be here at step 2, but you got to understand, to get to step 10, you cannot stay the way you are. You cannot stay where you're at. You in terms of your mindset, okay? And in terms of how you conduct business, you just cannot be the same. I'm saying all this because there's opportunity out there that exists. There's, if you want to get to 15 trucks, my first question would be why? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to put yourself through that? I don't know. But when I say that and the answer is that, I don't know, I think that the answer is, I don't even know what's to come. I have no idea what is to come to get me to 15 trucks. And that's okay. Here's the thing. If you don't know what's to come to get you to 15 trucks, and that's where you want to go, well, you can do a couple things about that. You can try to figure it out. You can continually you work to try and talk to people who know what's going on or who are there. Or you can just try to do it on your own, like so many have tried. And that's okay too, right? But all I'm saying is, regardless of which way you go, you're going to have to go through something. And I understand that people understand that, but sometimes we just don't know really what it is that we're going to go through. Just like me trying to get on back here for 50 minutes. I mean, my day today has been filled with trying to figure things out. There's, something I've been working on, and only a couple people know about it, really. But it has not been like the past week, 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'll even go back multiple years. To bring me to this point was required. All the challenges that I've gone through. And all the challenges that I'm going through even today, I feel that it's worth it. Now, how will I benefit from it? It's kind of crazy because... I think some of you guys know what I did some years ago. I used to be in the music industry. And during that time period, I was out in California, and I was talking to my dad and on the phone, and I was telling him what was going on, giving him the update. And he asked me at some point in that conversation, so are you making money? So obviously, my whole conversation wasn't about how much money we were making, and actually, at that time, we weren't. And I told him no, but to satisfy his question, that will come. So I was focused on the mission. That's what I was focused on. It was something that I was really, really striving to accomplish that was beyond the money or outside of the money. And so when we are in this business, and even like today for what I'm doing, um, it's I have a passion, I have a desire. The money, I think it will come. Hopefully, it does. But right now, it's about working to put something out there that could really be of benefit to our community. And when I say our community, I'm talking about the small trucking community. Um, there is opportunity out there. There's opportunity out there for you to grow. There's opportunity out there for you to develop. There's opportunity. There's opportunity. Okay. They come in the form of challenges, right? And that's a whole different mindset. Again, it may sound rah rah, hokey pokey. I don't know if that's the right term, but it 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 is hard. Let's clear that off the table. It is hard. It is hard to do anything that is that has value. You know, there are easy pathways, and then there's a road less traveled. But in that road less traveled, you'll be able to turn around and do like this. Be like, wow, whew. One, I've come a long ways. And second, you won't see anybody behind you. You might, but not many. And the reason being is because not too many people travel that way. You know, they don't want to. It's too hard. And that's okay, you know. But for you, if it is that you are taking this other pathway, I mean, some people will hear other people, take their advice, listen to other people, and make decisions based upon what other people say. Okay. But sometimes you have to listen to that inner voice and trust it. It gets hard, it gets difficult. I know. Trust me, I do know. Today I was hoping to be able to present something to you that I totally believe in. Didn't happen. It did not happen, and but I'll be on it this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Have a couple of celebrations this weekend. I'll be a part of, but I'll be working this weekend, and you just have to listen to that inner voice. The reason why it speaks so loudly, why it's tugging at you for some reason to, you just have to, I can't tell you what to do. Someone can't tell you what to do. You have to believe and put forth that effort. You have to do that. Others won't do it. Travel that road. Take a look back every now and then and see that you're maybe the only one. Does that mean you're foolish? I wouldn't say that. Because even if at some point you realize that's the wrong way to go, you can talk about it. Not only can you talk about it, you have a lot of experience. There's a lot of experience that has come with that is going to help you further down the road. Okay. So know that whatever it is that you do, when it is sincere, there's going to be some reward that's going to come from it. I don't care where you're at in the process. I don't care where you're at in your journey. There's going to be some reward that will come from it. So for me, regardless of where I'm at right now, I totally believe in what it is that I'm doing and what I'll be presenting, regardless of the noise, regardless. Okay, I didn't mean to talk about any of this, to be honest with you. I definitely hope that you all, in what you're doing now, I mean, the market may be soft. There's a lot of carriers that are falling off still, that need to fall off. I talked to a good buddy of mine this week who's in the industry. I'm really happy for what is going on with him. I hope that that really comes to fruition, and love to just see him go that next level. Whatever challenges come, there are opportunities, and there's been opportunities along the way to getting to this point. So congratulations, and continue to press forward, and really proud of you in that. And so for the rest of you all, I just hope that, if we definitely need people that we can communicate with, people who are on that level of seeing things in a different way, people who see things in a understand that we are supposed to go through these challenges, that we are supposed to learn from them, and that there is better on the other side. Doesn't mean the grass is greener on the other side. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we are always meant to change. We are always meant to change. And therefore, it's going to take us to another plateau. And with that, it is going to be better. You do not want to stay the same, right? You want to elevate. Okay. And at any rate, I really hope that we'll be able to, by next week, share what it is that we're working on. It's really, really fascinating and interesting. And through this whole process, I've learned a lot, and I'll continue to learn. I plan to learn. I hope that you guys plan to learn as well, as you go through your day, go through your week, go through your weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend. I wish I could see Jats. I wish I could. This didn't happen, but it happened for a reason, and I think I'm much better for it. I know that is all that I've got. There was a lot more that I wanted to bring, and I apologize for not being able to do that. It is Friday Memorial Day weekend. I'd love to know what you guys are doing this weekend. I've been watching a little bit of, I haven't been watching, I've been trying to keep up with the WNBA. It started, I guess they're about 3-4 games into it, each team. And, that's one thing I really, really enjoy is the WNBA. I've loved female basketball ever since I was in high school, because my high school team went to state. We had a great time. The boys never made it, but the girls did, and they had a phenomenal team. So I really enjoy women's sports. I think they're fascinating. I love all sports, really. I think that I love the team sports. I love the individual sports. And there's just a lot of good stuff there. I'm a big fan of the Chiefs. Go Chiefs. I think they're going to have a phenomenal year. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, or hope that's not the case. And when I say phenomenal, they're in the AFC Championship every year. So for it to be phenomenal is definitely way beyond that. There's going to be a lot of interesting storylines that are going to go on this year in the NFL. So I don't know too much about hockey. Back in the day, I used to have a little video game. It was a hockey video game, and I enjoyed playing it. I've got a friend that's overseas. He enjoys soccer, and what is that other not badminton? the one that's like baseball. I can't remember the name of it. So, what is that? And they hit the ball, and any rate, not cricket. I like cricket. I love that. My grandfather enjoyed playing that. I love tennis. I love all kind of sports, team sports, individual sports. I don't keep up with them like I used to, but man, I'd really love to get out there on the tennis court. I have to get better eyes for that, but yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to get caught up on that, maybe even this evening, and check in. Fever, love the Fever. I think they beat Atlanta last night, and they tore up on the Chicago. I think it was the opener, 90 something, 93-58. I think was the score on that one, and they did lose to Atlanta. And then they played Atlanta, I think, last night, and they beat them, the Atlanta Dream. So Indiana Fever, they're starting off pretty good. They have a pretty good squad. They really do. Um, let's see, who else is out there? I don't know. There's some college stuff that's going on. So I got to get caught up on a lot of stuff. I've had my nose buried in on what I've been working on. And man, I tell you what, I just feel like tonight I just need to like kick back and relax. But I doubt that that's going to happen. So, but at any rate, I really wish I could see your comments, have better conversation with you all, because I really want to hear from you all. But here I just ran my mouth for good, what, 30, 40 minutes, 36 minutes. All right. But I really appreciate you guys coming out. Leave any comments that you'd like. What are your plans for the weekend? Are you guys going to have a good time this weekend? Are you planning to just hang out? Are you going to be working this weekend? Are you going to be on the road this weekend? If you're going to be on the road this weekend, please be safe. Wherever you travel to, whether it's with family or for work, please be safe. And we want to see you next weekend or next week and do this thing again. All right. Hopefully I'll have all this stuff figured out. I'm sure another challenge is going to come up next week and I'll have to figure that out. But regardless, we're not going to stop. Okay. So I appreciate you guys coming out and have a great weekend. God bless. Now I got to figure out how to turn it off. All right. That's not it. I think I've got it. All right. Have a great weekend. Take care.